There's a lot of layers to get through, to feel such amazing subtlety. A lot of huge, giant expanses. Like those for me, those are like the most powerful experiences of my life. Like at the time, and now I've expanded so much further. I remember when I felt DMT energy within me without DMT, and it was feeling energy to the marrow. Was how I felt. I was like, it's feeling it to the marrow, and that was years and years ago. Like I feel energy constantly way higher than that. It's like it's just so crazy to get through all of these different levels of subtlety, all these different levels of like feeling potential. What was like the most powerful feeling in the world to me back in the day, like the highest feeling you could have on medicine ceremony, is now like a feeling that I could, you know, feel if I first start my motion. And so now it's just so strong, but so much different. The connection with everything, going into everything. But yeah, touch was a huge thing. Feeling. Now I just feel so well. For a long time, I don't know why, I just always liked to peel things apart. It's like it's like the ant in me, or the bug in me, helping everything break down. Like, oh yeah, this is gonna take a few years. Why don't we help it out a little bit? We're sitting here not doing much. I guess that's what's cool about humans. We craft things, we make things, we recycle. You know. Oh, it's a fallen tree branch. Let's make something from it. Pretty cool. Then everything can oscillate on our creation. You know. That's a way that energy was never ever able to be patterned before. Only with human hands could it be patterned that way. Only if we created it that way could energy bounce off of it in that shape, in that direction. It's really phenomenal. Consciousness is really happy with our hands and our ability to think and create. Very amazing uniqueness of the human experience, the human mind, the human perception, what happens to it. Really, the greatest things. Never have all these experiences. Look at the experiences that happen. Do you think these experiences happen in the animal world? They're having social gatherings. They're getting dressed up, going to the ball. Masquerade ball. No, that's not happening in the animal world. Nobody. It's very dynamic consciousness once humans got added to it, especially once they started to expand and grow in culture, in social engagement. It's like, oh, I'm gonna show off to my buddies now. So, I need something good to show off about. Everybody else is showing off before me already. I don't want to go out there and be worse than them. This weird competitive mindset created a lot of room for growth, though. We can still keep that great agitation for our growth. We might could just change, the wish to be better than anybody and just be the best of ourselves. Maybe in a way that was promoting others. As we learn something about ourselves, we share it and teach it to somebody, and now they know it too. So it's like a great value in the ability to share their knowledge. And then great value also seen in the student, the one who's learning. We can start valuing, a lot of things. Now we're able to be wherever we are. Feel quite honored to be there. Ah, cool, man. This is a nice stick. I like this. I always think that maybe like I'll take a small stick and like make a wand out of it or something. Just because one time I felt this wand when I was coming up, just like I was telling you before about the feeling magnetism. I could touch any object and I'd feel so much energy through it. I could feel how all the energy moves through this object, how it comes out, all the ways that it comes out, what you can do with it. I would just be present. I'd just be present with it. Just looking at it, just touching it, feeling it, just really just here. Just the feeling was such a big thing, such a huge sensation to me that the feeling itself could take up all the processes of my mind, all of my senses. Like, whoa, do you feel that? It's like a little feathery hair. Like, whoa, you feel these little hairs? Yeah. Alright, we'll pluck the hairs, Feels nice. Oh, you feel the way the grain feels, the texture. So smooth, but this way not so smooth, It seems so simple, kind of like a little kid looking at something, There's not a lot of thought going on, kind of like a mindless activity in a sense, But it was so mindful. It was so amazing, this information that comes through feeling and presence, because I was able to feel so greatly, you know, I was able to experience the magnetism when I touch metal, you know, and not fall off of me. I was able to feel the wood and the energy that goes through it, the information that was being transferred, the wisdom. This has the wisdom of a whole tree, of an entire society of trees, this tiny little limb. You know, how do we read it? What's the language? Is it going to speak to me in English? You know, what's going on with this? Does it matter? How do we resonate? You know, I found out that I could resonate really amazingly. That just by seeing something, feeling it, I could become the energy just by looking at it. I wonder if we're all the same. I wonder if we all do it. I bet that we do. I bet that we're all empty that way. You know, to where the moment we look at something, we begin harmonizing with it. Now, there may be resistance to do it, so we might not really look at something. You know what I mean? So, like, we only, like, kind of look at our friend, like, hey, buddy, how you doing? You know, but you don't look at them all the way. Because you're not supposed to look at them all the way, however, whatever it is. You know, like. But if you did, maybe you would resonate immediately and harmonize to the energy fully. You'd be like, whoa, holy shit, what is that? I'm empty. I'm not even here right now. You know, it'd be amazing. You know, how did I do that so easy? You know, it's a level of openness. You know, you're not threatened for some reason. Now, if you have an identity, you can have your identity threatened. You know, if you don't have an identity, what could be threatened? You have no reason to judge yourself or anybody else. I mean, whatever. You play any character, you do anything. There we go. Yeah, a little easier to find versatility. But doing that a lot can be difficult too, because we go over to other people and we're always other people, we're always harmonizing, we're always, well, who the fuck am I? Wait a minute, where am I at? Where am I in this pie? This play of emptiness, always reflecting all these things, always resonating. Then you can start looking at yourself, you know? I look at that guy, feel his energy, I get his vibe, alright, he's gonna steal from me and judge me, no big deal. Or not, you know, whatever it is. And then we look here. Oh, it's very hard to look at ourselves in the mirror, you know. But that's a beautiful work too that I did originally. It was something very, very, very difficult for me, was to look in the mirror myself, look into my own eyes, you know, tell myself that I love myself. But not just that, but just simply to look into my eyes at all. I was afraid of me like I was a demon. I was looking at myself like scared of what I would see. Weird. It's like I don't know myself or something. Like, why would I be afraid of what I would see? I'm a really great guy. I was a sweet fella. What was I afraid about? You know, what did I think? I thought I was gonna be the devil or Satan. Oh no, don't look at the reflection in the mirror. You know, and when I did do that, that's when my fear really kicked in to provide the barrier that would give me the momentum I needed to transcend it. You know. So I created a barrier of resistance, and if I could get through that resistance, that would be the energetic momentum necessary for me to get all the way through it, and to never have it then have to repeat itself in that same manner again, no longer cycling or looping that experience over and over and over again. And it was, what a simple process it was, just to look in my eyes in the mirror during medicine ceremony, you know. And I looked at myself, I began growling. I was like, I become an animal, and for some reason I could not growl at myself. When I looked in the mirror, I could not growl at myself. It was like I was becoming a demon or something. It was very scary. So I would look away. Like, oh no, don't look at it. Don't look at it. You're becoming a demon. This is very bad. You know, somebody's going to hear you outside this room. You know, they're not supposed to be listening, but you know, they're going to hear you. You're in a hotel right now. It's not good. And other times I tried, you know, and it's still this crazy guy. You know, it's like, okay, don't look at that guy. Don't look at that guy. So finally, you know, I'm getting a lot of courage. Like, maybe I just want to see what's going on with the demon guy that's growling at me. All right, I'll look at the demon growling guy. And so I growled, and I looked, and I just growled and did all the different growling, weird, seeming animalistic, primal, demonic, possible looking energy, whatever it was, seeing my face and mad patterns. I never looked at myself in the mirror looking at those faces. Those are like, oh, demonic or devilish, but not really. I mean, they're just simply growling and stuff. I can do it now. You know, so it's kind of simple energy. Probably like way more better than that. I'm an awesome actor and person and feeler, you know. When I was feeling the growl, it was like I was becoming a werewolf, you know, or something. That's what somebody said one time, but anyways. And so finally, through looking at myself, I was able to pierce through that fear of myself and see that there it was. It's just me there. Just the same guy you see right here, you know. Oh, okay, he can growl or he can make any face he wants to make. It's just him, you know. And as I finally was able to look deeper and deeper and deeper, sending myself love, knowing myself, looking to know myself, I was able to get through that layer and then see how I was wrapped. And then I opened up what was to me the dragon. I could see from this point how all of my body, all of my expression, all of my energy was wrapped all around me. How it created this form, the blueprint of my existence in rainbow light and in writing. It was like how I was written. Very beautiful how it weaved from the center point here. And, very gorgeous. But I had to be able to look through my darkness, which was, the darkness was not my own darkness in the way of it being real or tangible. It was just my illusion, my belief in myself, my fear of myself. It was not real in any way. Like, what is this? Like, I did it, yeah. But there was nobody there to be afraid of. There was no demon there. There was just the belief that possibly there was something there. And so that was the fear. And the fear itself was just fear. It was not anything more tangible than that. It was just fear. And that fear was actually something to not fear at all. That fear was something that when bravery was applied, was the exact amplitude and resistance necessary to transcend something so amazingly that it's, how could you have done your journey at all without that fear? I was like, oh no, I needed that because that was like the catapult that got me over that ravine. That there was no bridge for me to cross and walk over. I needed that catapult to sail me over that ravine, or else I'd fall down, and I needed the fullness of it, the entire amount of it. If I would have been a little bit less, it wouldn't have had enough momentum to get me over that precipice, but I was able, only because the fear was there to create it. And eventually, when you see fear, it no longer deflects you. You eventually look at it like, what are you bumping into, bud? Get off of me. How dare you? He's bumping me. I'm trying to go this way now. Stop it. It's starting to piss you off, the fear, you're like, I don't care if there is something to be afraid of at all. I'll stand up anyway. Yeah, okay, what now, big man? All right, then kill me. I'll fight for it. I don't care anymore. You pissed me off enough now, huh? And then you get through it and you're like, oh, it's very beautiful what happened there. Thank you so much, fear. Fear, you're the greatest. I love you, fear. Thank you for bumping me so much, fear. Man, you got me to look directly at you finally, fear, because you bumped me so much. And then when I looked directly at you, I saw this amazing thing through the smoke. It was just the most gorgeous thing. It was like you were like the wrapping for the greatest gift on Christmas that I could have ever asked for. Santa Claus was like, oh, dude, you're going to love this. It looks like coal, but inside that coal is a diamond. And you can break open this coal. Be gentle, and you'll find it, you see. Or be hard, do whatever you want. Ha! Oh, I hurt my hand a little. What a fool. And so you see, this fear was this great present, was this great wrapping, this great gift, and I didn't know. It's like this dark box of mystery and fear and, oh no, what is this unknown thing over here? Ah! And then inside of it was the greatest treasure, you're like, ah! And so fear was there for you the whole time, and you didn't know it. What was fear protecting? The greatest part of myself, the most fragile part of myself, the most sensitive part of myself, the part of myself that was the most beautiful. That's what it was protecting. Because you can only transcend this fear with truth, with authenticity. You can only get through it if it's true, if it's actual, if it's real. And if it's not real, then you will not get through it. And so it's this beautiful thing that stops anything from taking upon itself the power of the universe in a way that can manifest its own dissonance. Only way to get to this beautiful key, this beautiful blessing, is through becoming authentic and embodying its frequency actually, and that's the frequency of the heart, the frequency of all that is, the very center of ourselves. Unless we are actually able to embody it, we'll never understand it. So why are these people in the world hiding wisdom? What are they afraid of? Nobody could ever do anything with it unless they actually match it. That means these people must not know, that that's the case. They're still kind of afraid. They don't know for sure. They're like, oh, somebody might misuse this. They might take the power for all themselves. No, this is not possible. They cannot do anything without matching this actually, authentically. If you match the frequency of the heart, you become the most authentic, the very, very smallest frequency to ever exist, the very tiniest thing, or the most subtle, so small that it is in between everything entirely, equally. and now it can see everything. It knows everything. And it knows everything in such a way that it would never be against anything, because it's understanding what it is. You can see it the most intimately, the most romantically, the most beautifully, the most dynamically, accurately, precisely. It's like, oh wow, this is amazing. This is all myself. This is all. Oh my goodness. And now there's no reason to ever harm anything. And now all the energy of the universe can be put into that point right there. That very tiny position that will always do for everything now that it understands what everything is. You never go against yourself logically. You go against an idea of yourself. You go against this or this or this or this or this or this or this. And still none of those things are actually against, because there's no doer in a certain way. Only to this point of understanding in the center can we see actually how it is that all action begets itself. And then we can see how it is then we are part of this amazing, phenomenal everything, and this amazing way to observe and experience this observation. And we can watch the unfolding of it and how it's presenting itself. Like, whoa, what a beautiful story, what a phenomenal narration, what a gorgeous, amazing thing to be part of, to be. Whoa, no separation. But yeah, that fear, what a great blessing, to lead us there, to give us the chance to be authentic. Because the only way to get through that fear is without force. You can go into that fear and attack it. You'll not destroy it. It's not the same as the bravery we talk about. That fear will not be destroyed that way. That is just the exact opposite effect. That's what it's meant to do to you if you're an aggressive person going towards the wisdom, going towards the secret. That's not secret at all. It's here, written on literally everything, very clearly, very specifically, amazing. It can't not do that. Everything constantly reflects itself over and over again. That thing that's being reflected over and over again is the truth. It is what is. The thing that is. It's the holographic universe fractaling out the exact truth, constant. The entire information of the whole. All of the information. So every now moment for limitless existence is being reflected right now in every piece, no matter the size or increment in which it's broken apart from itself. It's amazing, so phenomenal. So you see the truth is written here very clearly on everything. It has no choice but to be. Even here, you see, there's a lot of things that we think of as not tangible, but this experience itself even. So not just like the way you look at the experience, the way you look at the experience, the way I look at the experience, or the way that we all three look physically, but also all of the energies being exchanged through us, all the ways that we've been speaking, from the moment that we met to the moment that we end, every duration of cycle that could ever be measured or perceived, explaining the entire information of the whole, very clearly. What? It's crazy. It's presence. You come present with the moment. You release all the reasons why you would leave the presence of the moment. You release all the attachments, all the grasping, all the things that cause you to jump away and be in 2 places or 3 places or 4 places or 20 million places, whatever it is, It's right here, right now. Everything is already here available. All the information, all of the wisdom, right here, right now. You just have to learn how to see it. How do you do that? Well, it's actually something that's naturally happening. So actually, learn how to see it seems actually like too much force. Like you'd have to train or something to do it. It's kind of just realizing how you're already seeing it. Kind of realizing how you're already doing it, how you exist as this perfectionist, how you exist as the exusion of this wisdom, how all does, coming into awareness of it. Oh shoot. If you start to go in that direction, everything will start to show you really easily. Plenty of people have already been welcomed into synchronicities, angel numbers showing up everywhere, and just amazing coincidences that cannot be coincidences. Like, whoa, these are messages from God or Source or consciousness, the universe, whatever it is. Krishna saved me. So as we start to go, everything starts to reflect for us, starts to show us, starts to bring us in, to this narrowing view. It's very narrow, because all these truths are here. Millions of truths are being stated as possible truths, but they're not true. So it's got to narrow your view. It's like, oh, okay, you see? That didn't fit through the eye of the needle. That didn't fit through the eye of the needle. Only you will fit through the eye of the needle. And what are you? No. Your body didn't fit through there either. No. Your awareness, that's what made it. You get to find out where you are, who you are, how you are started, and then you get to find out then how everything is from that point. Because that tiniest object, that tiniest unit of measurement that we could ever be perceiving ourselves to be, that is the truth. That's reflected in all things, constant. Reflected in all things, constant, everywhere. Here it is. Wow, your awareness. Wow. We try to name it, you know, quite ineffable is it? But, hey, I think pure awareness is kind of up in the air. You know, it's aware. Limitless emptiness. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. The Heart Sutra. That's what we were talking about earlier. How Christianity, or through Jesus, Hebrew culture was bridged into Tibetan culture because of the immeasurable one, which mirrors the Heart Sutra. Very beautiful. We spoke about that before on these videos. We're taking video now, you know. Yeah. You're like, oh, shoot. Yeah, she's funny. Oh, sneaky camera girl. No, it's good. Yeah, we've been making videos for a while. Usually of naked people in bathrooms. Without their knowledge, of course. But no. Yeah, this is the first video though that's going on Maui though. We didn't do any this whole time.
Do you know the battery chargers there?
Yeah, they're all in Travis's house.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't bring. Oh wait, no, actually no, I have one here. I think I brought one inside the backpack. The big black one inside the top pockets. Yeah. But yeah, we're always constantly channeling cool information and everything, so we're always making videos. It's really beautiful. When I first met her, that's how it's always been. I met her in Hot Springs, in Pagosa Springs, and I was channeling light language and song. And so when I looked over at her and my friend and her friend, their faces were just like glowing golden light on me. So I was like, whoa! And then I went back into my channel and I kept doing my thing. But it was like, she come up to me when I was going to the trash can, and I asked her if she had a cigarette. So we shared like this little tiny half a cigarette she had. She was so sweet. She was like, I have this half a cigarette, we can smoke together. I'm like, all right, I have one that's a tiny bit smaller than that, so sure, let's do it. Let's go. And went into this beautiful poetry channel, this gorgeous flow. Like one of the first times I've ever done a poetry style channel in that way. Like really confident, really beautiful, and just really gorgeous. It actually really made me doubt myself too. I was like, man, maybe I should get away from here before I like start fucking it up. Like kind of leave while you're ahead kind of a feeling. I'm like, oh shit. But I stayed for as long as what it was necessary. Finally, I was hungry, and she was like, okay, time for you to go get your food. You need to eat. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. I guess that's right. Yeah, I walked up the street. Didn't have any tobacco, but I found a pack of cigarettes on my way halfway up the street. Pack of cigarettes, Marlboro Lights. Thank goodness. I was not judging myself enough to where I could enjoy those Marlboro Lights until the rain had stopped at Basha's, and I was able, or not Basha, at City Market, and then I was able to go buy a pack of tobacco with a $5 bill I found just before that. I was like, whoa, dude. So I went and got American Spirits. That's what I needed, was like $5 in order to be able to buy that. And I got a coffee. And then I was all out of money after that. Oh no, I had a coffee for the next morning. I had enough money for coffee the next morning too. I was completely taken care of. It's good to live your life simply. And you're like, I've had all that I need. I need tobacco, coffee again. Success. I had a sandwich at Basha's, or City Market. But yeah, then she took me over to her trailer a few days later, and at her mom's house, this awesome Airstream, super comfy bed. She made us French press coffee every morning, just awesome. And we made love, and we had an amazing time fucking channeling energy and activating energy the whole time. Just like super powerful teachings, like rising up to amazing song channels too. Like my voice 100% belting out, like huge, as powerful as it gets, song channels. Like at the grocery store, going in and doing awesome, like super cool energy flows in the grocery store, showing her how to walk with the flow and like all this awesome stuff. And Also showing her like the funniness of like old people that act like they know wisdom but they don't know shit. Like oh, take that, blah, 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 you know, like oh, they're not really about it. They're just about repeating statements they thought were cool when they were hippies. That's all. Like whatever. So what? You've heard somebody talk about some shit. That's fucking awesome. That you decided to agree with it. You never found out anything actually about it though. So. It's cool though, because they imply a lot of stuff, older folks. They want to teach you a lot of stuff. They're like, oh. I'm like, bro, I ain't got time for your shit, man. Like, I don't know, if you was a llama, if you was a Rinpoche, if you were like, you know, dedicating your entire life to the benefit of all beings everywhere without one exception, without like going for your own personal pleasure purposes selfishly, then I would be all about listening to your wisdom. But I can see you're all into bitches, and you're all into women, and you're all into young men, and you're all into this, or you're all into that. You're all into just succeeding yourself and your personal ego, and you're not around just constantly spreading the wisdom, the word of God, or whatever you want to call what consciousness is loving the repeating patterns of, the exution of truth for the benefit of everything to be free from suffering. Like what? They don't have any of that. They just want to talk about the football game, or fucking going hunting, or fucking being on a boat, or drinking beer, or what you did yesterday, or how the weather is, or what the hell the story of their life is. And I don't give a shit about what they used to do when they were a kid. I don't care at all about that. That's not benefiting me. I can see values of information, you know? I'm like, no. And especially people that imply wisdom towards me. I'm like, what are you implying wisdom towards me? Do you actually know it? Those are the guys that say, all I know is that I don't know. I'm going to say that a million times. It's one of the most pet peeves of